we're going to be reacting to the behind the scenes devlog, the second one for Bodycam, this time called "This is what a gunshot really sounds like." So focused on sound design. Pretty curious about this. The first one was pretty interesting. I'm gonna try and yeah, it's gonna be loud. I have gotten really curious to try the game since I saw the last one. I very well might try it out when it releases the update. It is kind of nuts. It is very rare for a game to, even a movie, to like have actual.
Bodycam first launched early access. One thing players immediately loved were the gunshots.
Yeah.
They already felt raw, violent, and powerful. But realism has always been our obsession. And we kept asking ourselves, what are games still missing? Most games try to make gunshots sound cinematic by bringing big bass, big punch, and a big Hollywood explosion to top that off. But real gunshots don't feel cinematic. They feel dangerous. Because in real life, a gunshot isn't just a sound. It's a shockwave. The air moves, the walls react, the ground vibrates. And the first time you hear a real weapon fired close to you, it's usually terrifying.
I don't know if we... Should we show this?
Instead of making gunshots sound cooler, we wanted them to sound real. To achieve that, we built an entirely new system called organic reverb. This is a fully dynamic system that understands the environment around every single gunshot in real time. This system understands room size, ceiling height, openings and windows and corridors, how enclosed the space is, and how much air can escape it. Everything is analyzed dynamically to make every detonation physically react to its environment. Fire inside a tiny bathroom, and the pressure has nowhere to go. The bass becomes overwhelming, the shockwave violently bounces around the room, and the entire space feels compressed. However, in a bigger room, the sound breathes more, with longer tails, with more air, and with more space.
I see. Jesus Christ. Yeah, this game is not for the faint of heart. That's for sure.
Reverb didn't just allow us to change the gunshot itself. It also allowed us to simulate something almost no game does. Shockwave propagation. Because in real life, gunshots don't just stay inside rooms, they escape them. So thanks to organic reverb, we now understand how shockwaves travel through spaces.
Rainbow Six kind of tried to do that early on, Siege. But then they kind of went back on it because...
You don't only hear the gunshot, you hear the blast wave rushing through the corridor itself.
It was like very hard to tell where things were.
Space, leaving the room, and reaching the player 100% naturally. And those interior shockwaves are not just realistic, they're gameplay information. Because now players can instinctively follow the pressure wave to locate the shooter. Almost like the environment itself guides you towards the gunfight.
Yeah, but that does create...
Reverb also allowed us to simulate exterior shockwaves. Because once that system understood
issues, but it's also a cool system.
Understand how pressure escapes outside. So now when somebody fires next to an opening, you don't just hear the indoor gunshot. You hear the air pressure violently escape outside into the world.
That is cool.
And that's where we realized something really, really interesting. Because once that system understood the room itself, it also understands whether the gunshot should behave like an indoor or outdoor detonation. So now when you progressively move from outside to inside while firing,
Yeah.
the gunshot smoothly evolves with the environment.
That makes sense.
No sudden audio switch, no artificial transition. We also took the opportunity to improve every other aspect of sound propagation in Bodycam. So gunshot occlusion has completely been reworked, so that when somebody fires behind a wall, the sound now behaves much more naturally.
Oh, I see. I couldn't really
Voice
pinpoint what it
communication
was
has also
talking
received
about.
a major upgrade.
Oh, God. Yeah, it is a French team, right? That's making this. I think.
We also improved
I'm not
vertical
sure.
audio positioning, meaning
That guy
it's
was
now
French.
much easier to understand if a player is above you.
Oh, that does sound above. Huh, that's
Simply by
pretty
opening your
good.
ears. And because organic reverb affects every detonation in the game, grenades also adapt dynamically to their surroundings.
Does seem pretty impressive.
And honestly, guys, all of these systems combined together complete a completely different kind of chaos.
Jesus Christ. Damn. We haven't seen how that looks too much with sights. Seems like the back and forth recoil is quite intense. Cool.
But gunshots weren't the only sounds we revisited. Every improvement we made to environmental audio, we also applied to one of the most important sounds in the game, the player itself. So for this update, we completely rebuilt Bodycam's movement audio system from the ground up. And one of the biggest parts of the overhaul were footsteps.
Okay.
We completely rebuilt our entire footstep system from the ground up. We redesigned 38 different footstep surfaces, from wood and metal to snow, mud, concrete, and much, much more.
I see.
But we didn't just stop at different materials.
Cool.
Because even a single surface can have multiple variations. Because the polished concrete inside a gymnasium doesn't sound anything like the destroyed floor of an abandoned warehouse. So instead of just creating one concrete sound, we created different variations from polished concrete, dusty concrete,
Jesus.
damaged concrete, grippy sidewalk concrete, and concrete covered in dirt and debris.
Seems maybe slightly overkill.
The same
But I'm
philosophy
here
was
for
applied
it.
across every single material, making every environment sound as unique as it looks. But
Damn,
what
it looks
happens when you
good.
suddenly change direction? In real life, your shoes don't just hit the ground. They're constantly pivoting, gripping, and sliding across the surface. So we recreated those sliding sounds for all 38 surfaces. So let's go back to our concrete example. This is clean polished concrete.
There's sliding in the game, I didn't even know. Oh, that's what you meant.
Very smooth, very controlled. It's really sharp. Now compare it to heavily damaged, rough concrete.
That's cool.
You can hear the gravel, the tiny debris crushing
I like the
under
wind
shoe, but honestly, even
sound
after all
effects
that
of the
work,
camera.
something still felt wrong. Because in real body cam footage, you never hear the world directly. You hear the world through the camera. And once we started rebuilding the entire audio mix around that idea, Bodycam started sounding like raw footage. We recreated all the little artifacts real cameras constantly generate.
Yeah.
When you run now, the impacts travel through the operator's body, into the chest rig, into the helmet, creating tiny shocks and vibrations inside the microphone, exactly like a real body cam. We've also built a fully dynamic wind system directly inside the body cam's microphone. When you sharply rotate, the airflow dynamically changes direction inside the camera.
Yeah, it
Turn
goes
left, the wind hits the left microphone
that
hard.
is
Turn right, it shifts to the right.
wild.
And
That's
when
what
you
I've noticed the
move,
most in this video
the
so
more
far. I
aggressive
know
it
it's
becomes.
definitely impressive because it's very dynamic. It's not like a static thing that could become very annoying very fast.
And yes, inside a building, the wind is attenuated.
Okay. This spot looks very fuzzy.
Even interacting with the camera itself completely changes the soundscape. When your character readjusts the body cam, the entire audio mix becomes muffled.
I see.
Exactly like a real camera.
Cool.
The audio overhaul didn't stop at movement. Our sound designers rebuilt every single reload from the ground up, giving each action more weight, detail, and authenticity. Recording and designing every click, every rattle, every impact.
Damn. The animations seem
mechanical
crazy.
interaction by hand. While most modern shooters try to make audio sound like a movie, we're trying to make it sound real.
I would say it's definitely it sounds a lot more realistic than usual.
Not because
Damn.
realism is a feature, but because it's the only way to make you forget you're listening to a video game. That's the philosophy behind every sound inside Bodycam.
Cool. Is that it? Yep. So that was the second one. I think there's 4 of them, yeah. So I'm not sure what they're gonna talk about next. Pretty cool. These devlogs are really well made, to be honest. I wasn't sure about the bit where they showed real footage though. I think that might be taking it slightly too far for me, for my taste, at least. But what they're doing with the game is definitely interesting. And yeah, it's really making me want to jump in and try it out, to be honest. Yeah, audio-wise, this seems like it seems like a lot of work went into it. I don't know. Again, like the whole sound propagates through the geometry and stuff was tried heavily in at the start of Rainbow Six Siege, but it had to be touched up on because essentially imagine you're in a room, you hear a sound coming from the doorway that's opened, you turn towards the doorway, but the guy is actually on the other side of the corridor behind it, the room, and he has like an angle on you because, I don't know, there's a hole in the wall or something. And so you end up looking in the completely wrong direction because of that system. So even though it's realistic, it can damage gameplay quite a bit. But I don't think this game has destruction. From what I can see, I'm not sure. So that might not be as much of an issue. But we'll see. We'll see. This definitely looks sounds very impressive. Very brutal. This game looks extremely brutal. A quiet taste for sure, but I mean it's as far as first person shooters go, you know. I think it's commendable to try and this whole idea of a body cam footage is a cool concept. So yeah, pretty cool. But that shall do it for this little reaction. If there's anything else you want me to react to, let me know in the comments. And until then, we shall move on to the next one.